Hello everyone, I'm Samir. I'm here to talk about the summary of a wonderful book called The Science of Mind Management, written by one of the famous author, Swami Mukundananda. And I'm sure you will be excited and amazed if I tell you about the author's educational background. So are you excited? Great. He graduated from IIT Delhi with a degree in engineering and received a postgraduate degree from IIM Calcutta. He is world-renowned spiritual teacher from India. So now, let's move to the summary of this amazing book. The first chapter is about the need for mind management. Here the author is talking about how our mind has the potential of becoming our best friend or the worst enemy. A controlled mind is our best friend while an uncontrolled mind is our worst enemy. Many thoughts used to come to our mind and goes. If we keep on thinking about our destiny, we will get some boost to achieve it. He also said that the external world is made by God and it is absolutely perfect. So we cannot blame the circumstances. So we have to live with it. If we really wanted to see some change in our life, we need to begin from within. Now let's discuss the second chapter, which is about afflictions of the mind. Our thoughts can make us either happy or sad. The author says, similar to physical diseases, there are also afflictions of mind like anger, greed, desire, envy, and pride, also known as mental afflictions. Let us consider anger, and it doesn't come by itself. It is caused when we harbor a desire and its fulfillment is observed, then we get angry. Coming to the desire, it is such a disease that can never be fulfilled. The more we fulfill it, the more it gets inflamed. Hence, the greed comes from the fulfillment of desire. It arises out of attachment to objects or people. And again, attachment happens when we repeatedly contemplate happiness somewhere else and we want to find it in objects or in the form in this materialistic world. To overcome this, we need to contemplate happiness in God. So let me explain how anger can cause a disaster with the help of a story. So Hari was changing the punctured tire of his car that was parked outside his home. Unknown to him, his son had taken a sharp-edged stone and was etching graphite on the other side of the car. After replacing the wheel, Hari walked around and discovered the damage that his 5-year-old son had done. Hari became angry with rage. He took the spanner in his hand and started beating his son mercilessly on his knuckles. Though the son screamed, Hari continued slamming. Later, Hari discovered that he had broken the fingers of his little boy. He rushed him to the hospital. He was screaming, "Oh my God, what I had done!" The doctor examined the hand and said that a couple of fingers would have to be removed to avoid gangrene from growing on the dead mass. Hari was shattered at what he had done. After the surgery, when the little boy regained consciousness, he looked at his hand and asked innocently, "Dad, when will my finger grow back?" Hari broke down in tears. He returned home, filled with remorse. In the driveway, his eyes fell on the graphite on the car. His son had written, "I love you, Dad." The child had innocently expressed his love by scratching the car. But the rage, Hari had behaved like an enemy. So we must overcome anger by submitting ourselves to the grace of God. By repeated contemplation of happiness in God will lead to attachment to Him. This will result in developing desire in the direction of God. In the next chapter, the author talked about the power of habits. By cultivating a good habit can really change your life. Let us take an example. If we wish to develop a habit of setting aside 30 minutes every day for exercise, a possible analysis could be improved well-being, continued youthfulness, fulfilling of the time well spent, more mental clarity, improved self-image, reduction of bad cholesterol, development of a healthy heart, improved muscle mass, more appealing personality, greater stamina for work. The author also said a diary or journaling is a powerful tool for staying on track in the effort of self-improvement. Journaling on positive affirmations and gratitude towards whatever we have with us, and we are really thankful for that. It will reflect a good character, and remember, good character is the result of good habits, while bad character results from the bad habits. So to change unwanted habits, we must repeatedly convince ourselves of the benefits that will result from the changing these detrimental habits. We must also reflect deeply on the pain that we will be caused by not changing them. Just as a rocket expands more fuel during the takeoff than in the rest of its flight, similarly, the left off is the process of forging new habits is the most difficult. It requires developing and exercising the muscles of willpower. With sufficient repetition, the new behavior or thought develops in the new habit by replacing the old one. And remember, during the transition phase, to avoid the context that triggers the old habit. He also explained the role of intellect in controlling the mind. The intellect decides whether something is useful or harmful to us and whether it will give happiness or pain. The mind harbors the desire or aversion for the object or a person or circumstances. God has empowered the human intellect with the ability to control the mind. The ability is called Vivek. However, the mind is like a spoiled child that wants immediate gratification. This inversely leads to a fight between the intellect and the mind. To control the mind, the intellect must exercise its ability for discernment. In Bhagavad Gita, this is called Buddhi Yoga. The author also explained 3 steps to empower intellect. Those are Sravan, Manan, and Nitidhyasan. To hear or read divine knowledge is called Sravan. It is the first step in empowering the intellect with wisdom. The second thing which is also required is Manan, which means revising the divine knowledge in our intellect. Nitidhyasan is the third and final step in internalizing knowledge. It means developing a firm decision of the intellect in alignment with our knowledge. We can get the support of God's grace by keeping the 6 conditions in our mind, and those are to desire only in accordance with the desire of God, not to desire against the desire of God, to have firm faith that God is protecting us, to maintain an attitude of gratitude towards God, to see all we possess as belonging to God, to relinquish the pride of having surrendered. He also talked about 7 stress and results. So stress gets eliminated when we become detached from the results of our actions and simply focus on the effort. What we are going to put on a particular task, we can able to do our work even better and in more joyous state of mind. This is called efficient management of Karma Yoga. The practice of Karma Yoga demands the constant remembrance of God while doing any and all work. This is accomplished by attaching the mind to God. The wonderful technique for the implementation of Karma Yoga is the practice of the presence of God. Keep realizing His presence at a frequent interval of time. Slowly, the experience of His presence will with us become continuous. This would also be achieved using self-talk, which is what we speak to ourselves within our minds. These become the message we repeatedly pass from the conscious to the subconsciousness. Such kind of self-talk is called positive affirmation. We can use it to develop a positive personality full of optimism, faith, courage, perseverance, and purpose. Vedic scripture present positive affirmation in the form of japa or chanting of the name of God. In the various bhakti traditions of India, japa is the basis of contemplation, but an even more powerful tool than japa is visualization. It is more efficient than positive self-talk and affirmations. A picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture has a greater impact on our mind than words. Visualization is the process of continuously creating images with eyes opened or closed for producing the desired beneficial effects. When we learn to meditate upon the image of God, we get a tangible basis of loving Him. This is called Roop Dhyan meditation. To accomplish any success or achievement, Swamiji asked us to do sadhana on a daily basis for at least 30 minutes, Roop Dhyan meditation for 20 minutes, prayers and chanting for 10 minutes. Of minimum sadhana is required. It is required to purify our mind and body and soul, and also to bring its optimum potential level. And to perform sadhana, it should be practiced in any environment of privacy with minimal worldly distraction, as this leads to engaging the mind in divine thoughts. For sadhana, sit in comfortable posture. Begin the sadhana by bringing God's image before you. Trust me, it is really going to change your life and it will make you a successful person. And just have faith in God and never give up on putting your efforts into it. Without such expectation on your outcomes, just keep moving forward. Thank you so much for listening to me. We'll come up with similar book summary videos soon. Thank you once again.